Hello everybody, my name is Brianna Bilo and I'm a meteorologist here with the National Weather Service office in Grand Junction, Colorado. And this is your January 2023 monthly climate summary. As I did last year, new year, new color scheme. Also, my housemate just started a new job and brought home a cold, so please forgive me my voice this with time. All right, there we go. All right, so story of the month. Most of you probably remember, especially if you do live north of I-70, the end of January had a sort of a surprise cold snap, if you will, where some very, very cold Arctic air moved in behind a cold front and combined with a fresh snowpack and rapidly clearing skies to bring some record low temperatures to northeastern Utah and northwest Colorado. The actual coldest temperature recorded in our area was negative 44 degrees that morning, and that was in Maybell, Colorado, which is also the town that holds the record for the coldest temperature anywhere in Colorado. The coldest temperature that morning was negative 60 something in Peter Sinks, Utah, which is usually the spot that gets the coldest temperature of the day in the lower 48, as it were. But across the area, we had some pretty brutally cold temperatures, negative 42 in Craig, negative 31 in Meeker, negative 22 in Hayden, and in Steamboat Springs. It was cold. I mean, even here in Grand Junction, I believe we got down to 8 that morning, which is the coldest temperature we had seen to that point this winter, although I believe one of the cold mornings we've had here in February actually got colder. Yeah. Speaking of temperatures, here are our warmest high temperatures for the month of January across the area at our 10 climate sites across eastern Utah and western Colorado, with our warmest temperature here being 56 degrees, which occurred in Moab at Canyonlands Airport on the 10th of January, and the coldest high temperature was 35, which occurred in Vernal on the 11th of January. And poor Vernal, it's been cold up there, you guys. I'm so sorry. They actually just yesterday, as of the day that I'm filming this, towards the end of February, Vernal finally got above freezing for the first time in over 30 days. Those inversions, they're nothing to joke about. Our coldest low temperatures for the month of January, the warmest coldest temperature was 8 in Grand Junction on the 31st. As I mentioned previously, that was that real cold morning. And our coldest low temperature was negative 41 in Craig, again on the 31st. And you may have noticed the discrepancy between the negative 42 and the negative 41 given here, and that has mostly to do with what site was being used to record that temperature. So this is the ASOS at the airport, but the temperature that gave the negative 42 that was used in the previous thing may have been from a different different observation site in Craig. Either way, negative 40 is the point where Fahrenheit and Celsius are the same, so that's pretty cold. As you can see, a lot of these happen on that morning of the 31st, but we also had a cold snap earlier in the month, which gave the coldest temperatures at Canyonlands and Cortez on the 19th, and then Durango got their own special little cold snap on the 26th with negative 14. As far as precipitation is concerned, another good month. We had 8 out of our 10 climate sites come in with a above average precipitation for the month of January. And of the 2 that came in below average, Montrose was only 0.06 of an inch below average, which is pretty close to normal. I'm willing to give them a pass there. Although Aspen did see about 0.3 of an inch below normal for the month of January, just because of where they are and the way that these systems moved in, didn't really favor the Aspen Valley. with precipitation. Meeker was our big winner this month with just over 2.5 inches of precipitation, which is just about 1.5 inches above normal. And as I mentioned, Montrose came in at the bottom with 0.35 inches of precipitation, but again, they were only 0.06 of an inch below normal. That's not that bad. We've definitely seen worse even in the year or so that I've been doing these climate videos. Looking at our drought update, more good news. No significant drought in western Colorado, aside from a little bit of abnormally dry down here along the New Mexico border and up into the eastern San Juans. Utah, finally, we have gotten rid of that D3 extreme drought in eastern Utah, and we only have very small pockets of D2 severe drought, with the majority of the area being in moderate drought or abnormally dry conditions. Finally. As far as the drought outlook for the coming month, we are looking at no change, no trend for most of western Colorado and a little sliver of eastern Utah. We are looking at drought removal likely in these areas where we're seeing the abnormally dry conditions of around the Four Corners and across near the Colorado border in eastern Utah. And we are looking at drought remaining but improving for the rest of that moderate drought area in eastern Utah. Good news. It makes me happy, I'll tell you that. As far as our snowpack update, more good news. We had a really wet month in January and we saw a lot of snow. Southeastern Utah, almost 200% of normal snowpack. The northeastern Uintas and the Duchesne Basin, right around 150, 160% of normal. Looking at western Colorado, we are looking at anywhere from about 120% of normal in the Colorado headwaters to almost 150% of normal in the Yampa White and Little Snake basins. The Gunnison and San Miguel, Dolores, Animas, and San Juan basins between 130 and 140% of normal. Overall, we're looking at above normal snowpack, and that trend has continued into February as we have continued to see these winter storms move through and dump snow in the mountains and even some of the valleys. I haven't been here for fully 3 years yet. This will be my first runoff season where we actually have a snowpack to run off. So it'll be interesting going forward to see how these numbers change and how the spring goes. It'll be interesting. I'm excited. Looking at our February 2023 outlook, and unfortunately the month of February is already almost over, but the forecast for the month of February was a slight favoring of below normal temperatures across most of western Colorado, with a slightly higher chance for along the Colorado-Utah border and into eastern Utah, and equal chances of seeing either above or below normal precipitation. We still have about a week of the month left, and that can make all the difference. So come back in a couple of weeks and we'll see how well these panned out. And that's it for January. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the new color scheme, and again, I apologize for my voice. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for your February summary, and also I believe we'll be doing your seasonal climate summary for the winter as well. Have a good day, everybody.